Hey guys, so the Dragon's Blood series is out, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Easter eggs that I spotted in the series. This video have potential spoilers about the series, so you guys have been warned. But if you guys have already watched the series, let's see what these Easter eggs are. Before we start this video, I gotta say that there are a lot of things in the series that doesn't seem to perfectly align with the in-game lore. And it seems like the in-game lore has undergone some alterations within the series. And I think this is because they are bending the pre-established lore to better connect the dots of all the lore in the Dota universe during the series to make the Dota 2 lore well structured and more consistent. So I'll call this effect the lore alteration and indicate it through this icon. So with that out of the way, let's begin. I'm sure you guys already know the main characters of the series by now, but there are a bunch of interesting background characters shown in the series that I think are worth talking about. In this scene we see a troll, the kind of trolls that we see in the in-game neutral camps. And we also see an ogre that is very similar to the ogre that Razil the alchemist works with. Come to think of it, I think this is that ogre, because in Alchemist's lore, it is said that Razil found his ogre friend while he was in his prison cell. Maybe this ogre went to prison because of his gambling habit that is shown in this scene. So he clearly likes money, and this would explain why he agrees not to eat Razil and even starts working together with Razil, because Razil knows how to transmute stuff into gold. I mean, why else would a strong big ogre call Razil his boss and take orders from him? And in this other scene we see a Uglodi getting beaten by Marcy. There's also a scene that shows a gang of bandits fighting Davion. And in this scene we see a character like Gondar. And since the character shown here is a bandit and Gondar is a bounty hunter, I think the race that Gondar comes from either prefers jobs like this or are mercenaries who love money. We also see another character who looks a lot like Elder Titan in this scene, which actually confused me, because the Elder Titan is a Titan, and Titans are these godlike beings that are worldsmiths. So why is a Titan working for bandits? Well, I have a theory. Maybe Elder Titan assumed a form of this race to kind of blend in. There's actually a sentence in Elder Titan's lore that states that the Titans forge their own spirits to be more powerful. Maybe he did the same to forge himself a new body based on this race. Because we have a similar case to this with Earthshaker, and in his lore it states that he shaped himself in a form of a mortal beast. We also have another similar case like this with Void Spirit, because he says,
I have taken a form more able to interact with the matters of the mortal plane, but I do not pass my time here.
So this is not how Elder Titan, Earthshaker or Void Spirit actually looks like. We also see the Shopkeeper in this series, and inside his shop we see a bunch of in-game items. So let's see what they are. Here we see a Morbid Mask, Dust, Clarity and an Urn of Shadows. You may have noticed that I didn't talk about these items shown here. Well, that is because I'm not 100% sure that these items are the items that I think they are. This item looks like the Drums of Endurance, but the markings are different, so I'm not so sure about this. This purple crystal might be the Seer Stone, but if you look at the Seer Stone in-game, it has a precise pyramid shape and isn't jagged like shown here. But this could be a Seer Stone before it is cut into that pyramid shape. And lastly we have this item, which I think looks a lot like the blade part of Scythe of Vice, or it could be another item entirely. Maybe all of these guesses are wrong, and this might be Valve hinting about future in-game items. This could be a possibility, but anyways, let's move on. Then we see a Battle Fury and a Buckler hanged here, a pair of Tranquil Boots here, and a Staff of Wizardry here. And then we also see a headdress and a couple of healing salves here. So as you can see, they have shown a bunch of in-game items in this scene alone. But we also get to see some of these items in action, and one of these items is the Gem of True Sight. In the series, the Gem of True Sight not only reveals hidden things, it also seems to show the past, present and future of yourself when you gaze into it. Because in this scene we see Mirana's past, present and future through the Gem of True Sight. So it seems like the gem that reveals hidden things also have a hidden power within itself. This seems to be another case of adding on to the lore and altering it a bit to drive the plot forward. I don't know if this power of seeing the past, present and future will be implemented to the in-game item, but I have a suggestion if they do decide to implement this power into the in-game item. What if the Gem of True Sight gets active that allows the user to target an area and see the past of that area? I mean something like seeing visions of players who just passed by that area a few seconds ago. So this ability will allow people to plan ganks and team fights or choose to avoid them based on the information they gathered from this active. This active would fit the theme of Gem of True Sight being an item that detects things. Another item we get to see in action are the TP scrolls, because Bram is shown to carry them around in this scene, and later we see him use them to teleport, but for some reason he have to use blood to activate the scroll. There are two reasons why I think this is the case. The first reason have to do with in-game observations. You see in Dota only heroes and a select few of creeps have mana. Some creeps don't have mana at all. So I think normal people like Bram don't have a mana pool to use teleport. So they have used their lifeblood as a source of mana, like in the case of Soul Ring sacrifice. So basically Brand here is using his blood, aka health, to substitute for mana, kinda like Huska. The second reason is a simple one, and this is just how TP scrolls work, and this is just another example of lore alteration. I also noticed a bunch of items that seems to be Easter eggs for possible new in-game items, but I'm not so sure about them, but I felt like they're worth mentioning. The first item is a ring that looks a lot like the Ring of Regen, but it's a bit different. Plus it has some symbols in the gemstone, and it is worn by all the bandits, so I think this is the symbol of this group of bandits and nothing much. The second item is Mirana's bracelet. Maybe this is a hint for a possible new in-game item, I don't know. And then we have the third and final item, and that is Davion's Qatar, shown throughout the series. Maybe it's a possible new damaged item like Blades of Attack or something, but judging by its looks, I think it might end up as a cosmetic immortal weapon item for Dragon Knight, because he currently doesn't have an immortal item for his weapon slot. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the places that we get to see in the anime. We see a bunch of familiar places mentioned in the in-game lore, like the Night Silver Woods, the Temple of Selemene, the Dragon Hold, and even Candanus is mentioned in this scene.
Where?
The Magpie's Roost. If any such merchandise moves through Candanus, he knows.
The anime also shows us a bunch of new places that we never even heard of before, and it expands our view on the Dota 2 world. Speaking of new places in the series, Mirana stumbles upon a cave with zombies, and while inside she has these visions, and these visions feature what seems to be a dire stone fragment, a fragment of the Dire Ancient that fell into the ground when the Mad Moon shattered. The larger two pieces are the ancient buildings that we know in game, and the dire stone shown here is one of the minor shards. And in this scene we see the people around it getting corrupted by its power. This is a reference to the fact that the ancients corrupt those around them. And in the RV Heroes Yet comic, we see that normal people are transformed into creeps. But these aren't really creeps, but zombies. Well, I think this is a reference to the fact that the Dire was the Scourge back in Dota 1, and the Scourge is the undead fraction back in Warcraft 3, hence the zombies. The next Easter egg I'm going to talk about is probably one of the biggest Easter eggs in the series. And the Easter egg is that this zombie shown here is a cameo of Sir Action Slacks. Why do I say this? Well, in an interview, the producer of Dragon's Blood said this.
Does Sir Action Slacks make a cameo?
He's a corpse. No lines.
Okay. Got it. Good to know.
I thought it was just him joking around, but apparently that's what he wanted us to think, because this zombie seems to be the cameo that he was talking about. And as you can see, he's a corpse with no lines. In the series, we also see the heroes use their in-game spells. Let's start with Davion. We see him use his Elder Dragon form, breathe fire, and in this scene we see the Dragon's Blood healing him. And then we have Mirana showing her long-range archery skills, and this is similar to how her sacred arrows work. We also see Starfall in action in this scene shown here. And we also see Sagan leap a bunch of times in the series when Mirana orders him to. Next up we have Luna. We see her using her Moonglaives, Lunesen Beam and Eclipse in the series. We also see the followers of the Dark Moon Order having purple glowing eyes, and I think this is the Luna Blessing aura. And then we have Terrorblade, and during his fight with Selemene, he uses 3 of his in-game abilities. First he uses Metamorphosis, and it shows that he can fly during it. I know they probably did this to make the fight look more interesting. But this got me thinking, what if Terrorblade could actually fly during his Metamorphosis form in-game? I know it is overpowered because Metamorphosis has a long duration, but what if they add the flying part only during Terror Wave? I mean, it only lasts 10 seconds, and it requires an Aghanim Scepter to be unlocked, so you basically have to pay gold for it. And its initial fear status wave makes it kinda hard to catch enemies, so this flying power might be a nice touch to that spell. So Icerock, if you are watching this, I'm just saying that it would be a good rework for that spell, because his scepter upgrade feels a little underwhelming for the 4200 gold spent on it. Next he uses Conjure Image to fight Selemene, and then we see him use the Reflection spell. And just like the spell in game, it creates a dark version of Selemene that attacks and follows her around. And the animation shown here is the same as the in-game spell animation of the Reflection spell. And in the series we see Terrorblade possess a bunch of people and the dead Uldurak's body. And yes, this is not a demon like I thought it was. And Angermania was right all along, and this is a dragon. So yeah, I was wrong about the green demon. But in my defense, he is possessed by a demon, so yeah. But anyways, Terrorblade also steals Uldurak's soul. This is actually a reference to an old spell that Terrorblade had called Soul Steal. And back in Dota 1, his title was Soul Keeper. So this kind of fits perfectly. Afterwards, we see Uldurak's body disintegrating after Davion stabs him. And this looks a lot like the custom death animation that comes with the Terrorblade's Arcana. And as for Invoke and the other characters of the series, I'm not gonna talk about them. because I'm thinking of making more videos talking all about them later on, so stay tuned for that. And finally, the last Easter egg. I'm not really sure if this is even an Easter egg, but judging by the way that the series ended, there's definitely another season coming up. And even the producer of the Dragon's Blood series said that there will be more than one season.
How many seasons can we expect?
I can't really answer that in the sense that I hope that we get more than one. I would love to get at least 3.
So yeah, that's all the Easter eggs that I spotted in the series. Did I miss any other Easter eggs? Let me know if you guys spotted any other Easter eggs in the series in the comment section down below. I would love to hear about them. And as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.